So let's talk about our next speaker. Aisha Beau is our next speaker. She is a digital content creator, speaker, and founder of AishaBeau.com, a digital destination highlighting all things self-care. She specializes in creating content about lifestyle, beauty, fashion, and wellness topics, emphasizing the importance of internal and external well-being. She has been featured on Allure.com, Refinery 29, Brides.com, CondeNashTravel.com, Cosmopolitan.com, and more. And now she is going to be featured today on our Wellness Awaits. So welcome, Aisha. How are you doing today?
You're
I'm
doing better now that I'm unmuted. This is a big thing for me lately.
It's gonna, you would think after 2020 we would all know, but you mute yourself not to hear the echo, and sometimes we just forget to do it. So welcome. So excited to have you. I had an opportunity to meet you a little bit before, and you know I'm in love with affirmations, so I'm super excited about your segment.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. This is honestly, I think positive affirmation and positive self-talk is really just like my bread and butter and like foundation of everything that I love when it comes to building up that self-care routine. So I'm super, super excited to talk about it today.
All right. Well, I'm not going to hold you back because I got more notes to take because I know the segment's going to be amazing. So, all right, Miss Aisha, let's go.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me this morning. As mentioned, positive affirmations, self-love, is something that I feel is truly the foundation to building a lasting self-care routine. And one thing that I realized through my self-love journey is that it's less about changing who I am, and instead it's about unearthing the me that's in my core. I have a podcast and it's entitled Rewritten. And one of the things that I like to say at the beginning of every podcast is that rewriting your narrative isn't about moving away and changing your name. It's about unearthing the you that was there before everyone told you you had to be someone different, had to do something different, had to look a certain way, had to dress a certain way. So we're essentially trying to find our way back. And I don't know if anyone's a fan of Beyonce, but her song, Find My Way Back or Find Your Way Back, it touches me every time because I just think about that. And one quote that I keep on my wall that it's by Eckhart Tolle, and he's one of my favorite people when it comes to self-love and building a more intentional life. I keep it on my wall right here. And it says, stop looking outside for scraps of pleasure or fulfillment, for validation, security, or love. You have a treasure within that is infinitely greater than anything this world can offer. And thinking about that and thinking about the fact that you have the power within you, you have the treasure within you, I don't know, I feel much more empowered. I feel more motivated and inspired to go about each day and know that whatever happened yesterday, we're gonna figure it out today. We're going to make things better this time around. So before I get into positive self-talk and affirmations, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on my particular self-love journey. I am someone who was diagnosed with anxiety disorder in my 20s, and in my early 30s diagnosed with PTSD. So self-care is very important. And I wasn't necessarily taking my self-care practice as seriously as I should have. I wasn't maintaining those routines and rituals. I was kind of going through the motions. At one point, I was prescribed medication to help me, and that was all I was doing. I wasn't going to a therapist. I wasn't, taking deep breaths. I wasn't setting time for myself. And I definitely was not speaking to myself in a way that was affirming and positive. And I came to a point where I was just like sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I knew that I needed to buckle down and really hone in on this self-care journey. And it's a holistic journey. It's mind, body, soul nourishment. And it absolutely doesn't stop. I've been on this journey now, I can say consistently for about 8 years. And I'm going to continue this way for the rest of my life. And one thing that I found is the foundation that has really, really, really helped is the way that I speak to myself. We hear from ourselves most, like we hear from ourselves more than anyone else in our lives. So why not have that little voice inside our heads be our cheerleader as opposed to our biggest oppressor? So what happens when you do something over and over consistently for a certain amount of time? It becomes a habit. And that goes hand in hand with negative self-talk. When your negative self-talk becomes a habit and it becomes your go-to, you're going to feel a lot less motivated. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel as though you aren't capable of the things that you know deep down you deserve. So when we speak to ourselves from a place of love and compassion, we'll feel more motivated, we'll feel inspired, and we'll also feel confident to explore new opportunities and new possibilities. And so today, now all of that to say that today, I want to share some ways that you can incorporate positive self-talk, affirming self-talk, and affirmations into your day-to-day life. Now, I know when we think about affirmations, it's similar. You think of something similar to that quote that I just shared, and that it needs to be so long and cumbersome. But actually, positive self-talk and positive affirmations can just start off with an I am statement. So some of my favorites are I am loved, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am confident. And we may not believe it at first, but as I mentioned before, when you do something over and over again, you start to believe it. You start to do more than just believe it, actually. You start to embody it. And if you tell yourself, I am loved every morning, you're going to embody love. You're going to feel that love, and you're going to be more open and receptive to the love that other people have to give you. When you tell yourself, I am successful, even though you may not be where you want to be just yet, you can look at those small wins. You can look at what you've done in the past and what has worked for you and realize I am successful. I am, and I still have a place to go. So I think when we break down affirmations to something as simple as an I am statement, it makes it a lot less daunting, and you feel a lot more inclined to incorporate that into your life. Now, another way that I like to incorporate positive self-talk into my life is by countering negative thoughts. And I do this by actually talking back to myself. I will literally sit at my desk, and if I find myself being like, oh, Aisha, you suck, you messed up again, I will literally say to myself, like, you did your best, you tried your hardest, you took your time. And that instantly makes me feel better, because we can be our harshest critics. And I am a testament to that. Okay. I am definitely someone whose default was negativity, or who has very high expectations for myself. And that's not a bad thing, but you also have to give yourself grace. So I think when we counter those negative thoughts with positivity, it's giving ourselves grace. It's showing ourselves compassion and sticking up for yourself. No one needs to, no one should be able to talk about you badly, and that includes you. So making sure that you're countering those thoughts and having a good conversation with yourself on how exactly you could do better and that it's okay is so impactful. Now, another way that I incorporate self-love and affirming self-talk into my life, this is something I'm still working on, but it's being more mindful of how we talk to ourselves to other people. Now, I get that self-deprecating humor is definitely on trend, and it's so easy right now to fall prey to being in a circle of people, others discussing, oh, I hate how my hair looks today. I hate my outfit. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm, just basically talking negatively about themselves. Your natural instinct is to want to make that person feel better and to feel more or be more relatable, or maybe their insecurity is kind of rubbing off on you. So your default again is a little bit of self-deprecating humor. Like, oh, girl, your shirt doesn't look good. Look at mine. Or your hair doesn't look good. Look at mine. You're kind of lowering yourself and lowering your vibration to meet someone else when actually you can rise up and, allow that person to have their moment and acknowledge their moment. You can maybe even counter their negative thoughts with some positivity, shining some positivity their way. But it doesn't mean that you need to engage in this self-deprecating talk, because after a while, it starts to click. And again, going back, what happens when you do something over and over? That's what you start to believe. So it's really imperative that we take a moment, we take a breath, and don't engage in self-deprecating talk. And also, this goes hand in hand with accepting compliments. And it's tricky for me too. But if someone gives a compliment, it's like, oh no, oh, it's fine. Oh my gosh. And you belittle your gifts, your talents, or what you have to offer. Sometimes it's as simple as just saying, I received that. Thank you so much. I received that. And leave it at that. And there you go. You have taken in the compliment. You haven't self-deprecated in the process. And I promise you, you'll feel more empowered. You'll absolutely feel more empowered by it. Another way that I like to incorporate self-love and affirming self-talk into my life is writing down my positive affirmations. So in the morning, I have a practice where I write down three things I'm grateful for, 3 manifestations, and 3 affirmations. And each of these different sections help me to stay grounded and stay intentional. So the first part, writing down 3 things I'm grateful for, that helps me to acknowledge what it is that I have currently, what I have achieved currently, and tell myself that I've done a great job. Things are going well for me. Or not even that, it can be something as simple as, I'm grateful for the sun shining today after a week of rain. And it just helps to signal to your brain that the glass is half full. You got to look on the bright side. I write down my 3 manifestations because I also hold myself to a certain standard in which I want more and I deserve more and I can achieve more. So writing down these 3 things that I manifest help me to put pen to paper and really see in front of me what it is I want and what it is I know I'm going to achieve. Now, my favorite part, the 3 affirmations, this helps to give me the boost of courage, confidence to go after these things that I manifest. So it's, again, simple I statements. I am wealthy. I am confident. I am successful, things of that nature. And that helps to really just like put a nice bow on everything that you had written in the rest of the journaling, and helps you to know that like you can accomplish these things because you are XYZ. So writing it down, like I said, it helps you to really see it, because sometimes we'll say things in our mind and it doesn't hold as much weight. But when we write it down, that can really, really help to boost our confidence and again, inspire us. Now, one of the last ways that I think that you can incorporate self-love and affirming self-talk into your day-to-day life is literally posting the affirmations in places where you can see them. Because as I mentioned, there's so much power in seeing these words in front of you. And one fun and easy way to get that or set yourself up for seeing these affirmations is setting affirmation alarms on your phone or on your computer. So throughout the day, maybe 3 times a day, you have a specific positive affirmation or something that you want to remind yourself of, and you set your alarm for maybe 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and then at the end of the workday, 3 p.m. And it's something as simple as, I am loved. And that alarm goes off and you look at your phone like, what? And then you see, I am loved. I am cherished. I deserve the things that I desire. I am worthy. And these words popping up throughout the day can make such an impact, especially if you're in the trenches, you're working hard, there's a lot going on at work and in life in general. And then you have a second where you look to your phone for something other than scrolling and it says something affirming, and that really helps to uplift you and make your day so, so, so much brighter. So with that said, those are my tips. And I'm going to quickly just go through them again. So affirmations can be as simple as an I am statement. That's number one. Number two, you can counter your negative thoughts by talking back to yourself. Three, being mindful of how you talk about yourself to other people. No more self-deprecating humor. Four, writing down those positive affirmations so that you can see it and feel it. Number five, posting those positive affirmations or setting an affirmation alarm for yourself. That way you are reminded periodically throughout the day that you deserve this, you're worthy. And one other thing that can help you as well to make having positive affirmations in your life a lot easier is my affirmation card deck. So this card deck is actually a labor of love. I launched these affirmation cards last summer, and essentially these cards have affirmations that I've come up with myself, accompanied by really beautiful illustrations here that you can see. And they're affirmations for self-love as a whole, but they talk about so many different things. So one of these is: the formula to joy and happiness has and always will be within me. Another one says, I will not allow my fear of getting started hold me back from accomplishing what I'm destined to achieve. And another one that I love, I will come out of life's toughest times stronger, smarter, and more resilient than before. So, if you want to fast track your way to building affirmations, this card deck is definitely the way to go, and it will absolutely be included in the giveaway. So that is my presentation on affirming self-talk, positive self-talk, affirmations, and why they're just so important. And I hope that I reach someone through this.
All right, that was amazing. I'm so excited. Affirmations, I don't know about, well, I do know about you because you talked about it a little bit, but they are life changing. So I have a few questions, but of course I have some questions of my own too. Right. I'm learning just with our audience. They're learning, I'm learning too. I think my very first one, and I get this a lot from people too, is when you first start the affirmations, I am smart. For me, it's like I am organized, because girl, I am not, right? Like how, when you have that in your head, when you're saying these things, because your future, you're predicting your future, how do you combat that thing in your head that says, I am organized, and the first thing that pops into your head is you like look at a messy desk and you go, okay, you're not organized, but even though that's where you want to go, what are some tips for really getting over that?
Yeah, I think, I definitely understand. So this is absolutely a very, very relatable question, because it can be a little tricky and a little weird telling yourself these things, especially when you're looking around at your life and you're like, when you don't want to see the mess that's on my desk right now. We have a nice setup here, but it's a lot different. So I think it goes hand in hand with action as well. So it's, I am organized, and it's telling yourself that I am organized. And then eventually you put the papers neatly somewhere else. You put your pen back into the container. It's taking action as well to help to really back up these words, because it is a process. And there are a number of steps involved in building up that self-care routine. So I think we have to take it a step further, because even an affirmation like I am loved, yes, that allows you to receive that love, but as someone who is loved, you should also be giving that to the world as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Absolutely.
taking those words and then putting it into action from there. And then you're really going to start to embody this thing that you are reminding yourself of.
I think that's such an important step because I think a lot of what we just hear about affirmations is just, I have to say this, I have to repeat this, but there has to be an energy and action behind it, to that aligns with what you're saying is really what's going to get you to that next step. So I don't know about you guys, but that was super helpful for me. I can see in the comments that like Miss Jamal said she is loving these affirmations, and Valerie is saying it's amazing. So that's really good. I've had some comments about your deck.
Oh, okay.
How did you come up with that idea? And can you share a couple of maybe your favorite affirmations or illustrations from the deck, or just a couple of more? Because we
Yeah.
love that, and we're going to be ordering that. So let's start.
Yes, absolutely. So it definitely, I knew I wanted to put a product out there. I knew that it was important for me to like take my career to the next step and take my brand to the next step with something tangible. But I I just felt like I'm so passionate about affirmation and positive self-talk because like I said, I'm someone who's always in my head. I'm always like ruminating and thinking about different scenarios and what I could have done or should have done and where I fell short. And I wanted to put together a tool to help myself and help others with feeling good and with building up a practice and a routine that is meant to help them feel good and believe in themselves. Because I think for me, when you believe in yourself and you believe in what you deserve, that's when you start to say no to bogus opportunities. That's when you stop talking to the people who no longer serve you or no longer make them such a priority. It's when you go out on a limb for an opportunity that is a little lofty, but you feel in your heart and you believe in your heart that you can achieve it. So affirmations really is that foundation. Like I said, there's obviously, you have to put action behind it. But I think that with affirmations, it's definitely like a first start. And oh my gosh, I have so many. So I have some like on my wall that I'm
Okay.
gonna. So these ones are my favorite ones are on my wall here. So this one, if you can see
I
it
love
here,
it. Yes.
lovely lady lounging, and it says, "I dream big, so once I wake up, I can take that inspiration and get to work." So
Oh,
this is
I
at my
love
desk.
it.
It keeps me motivated.
I
Uh,
love it.
Thank you. And so another one that I have here is this lovely lady.
Okay.
And it says, "My routines are little promises I make daily to put myself first."
Oh my gosh. I just want to like say that one more time, please.
Yeah, absolutely. "My routines are little promises I make daily to put myself first." And this one really has a special place in my heart. It's like in the center because I think a lot of times we throw our routines or habits to the wayside because, oh, we're just so busy. I have work, I have an engagement with someone else, I have kids, I have my husband to, I have my wife, I have other people to tend to. But when we stick to our routines, we stick to the goals and aspirations that we've set for ourselves and the little things that we need to do each day, we're literally signaling to ourselves that we matter. We're letting ourselves know that, okay, this thing that I feel so passionate about, it's important. And I'm going to take it seriously day in and day out to ensure that I can get to my milestone or the goal that I have for myself. So we have to treat our routines like little promises. We make promises to our friends all the time, and we're always there for our friends and everyone around us, but we got to be around, we have to take ourselves as priority as well. So this
I
is
love that. My little promises, my non-negotiables is how I'm going to start saying that. I got some love that in the comments too. I do have from Melanie. She has a really nice yes to countering negative thoughts. Even watching you so effortlessly and eloquently public speak is inspiring. So Melanie is a medical professional and public speaking can still be daunting due to negative self-talk, as you mentioned. What are your suggestions for Melanie to overcome something that's daunting like that? Because they say public speaking is like people are more scared of that than dying. So it really is kind of people's number one fear is speaking in public. So Melanie, you're not alone. We hear you. So what are some tips?
Oh my gosh. So Melanie, you are not alone because I was texting with my manager and I really was like about to text her and say, the nerves are starting to kick in because I was feeling them, but I was like, you know what, Aisha, again, what we said, if we write it down, it's gonna, it's gonna manifest. So I had to just remind myself, I was invited here to speak. I'm supposed to be here. I was asked to be in this space. So of course I'm worthy of being here. And I know that Melanie, you're a medical professional. What you have to say and do is very important. There are so many people who can benefit from your knowledge, your expertise. And if you go into a situation thinking of it that way, thinking of the fact that you deserve to be in this room, that you were asked to be in this room, that you earned your space in this room, that absolutely helps with public speaking and also doing it virtually.
That also helps. That
also helps.
Your own little space. But Melanie, if you can't be in your own space, you gotta create that space in your head. I love that. I love the whole thought of being deserving, knowing that you're worthy, and knowing that we all have something valuable to offer. And so don't sell yourself short. You definitely have some valuable information. We like even just having these conversations, we are learning. So I hope you have something in your card deck about that, publicly speaking. So are your cards, when can we order these cards? Are they in stock now or?
So I will be restocking. I'm actually expecting a new shipment because I knew this was coming. And so I'm like, okay, we got to make sure we get a full shipment because they sold out, but they will be back on sale next week. Okay. But we will be, of course, sending a deck to the giveaway winner, but they will be back on sale on my website, aishabeau.com. And yeah, they're amazing. The packaging is great. Get one for yourself, one for your friends. I think it's a great thing to keep on your nightstand and just have handy. I have like these little clamps that I use to like place it on my wall there. But yeah, I will have them back for you next week.
I love also because I think a lot of times with affirmations, well, two things, and I'm sorry, look, I am looking for you guys' questions too, but I have so many questions of my own because I'm just learning so many things. So two things, the writing the affirmations down, I think is a game changer. The posting them where you can see them as well. So I love that you put your cards up. As soon as I get your cards, I'm going to post them. If anybody is lucky enough to use my bathroom, they'll be surrounded by post-it notes. So apologies in advance. There's a lot of reading material on the walls because that's someplace I am every single day. So I always post my affirmations there. But what's the power and the energy behind not just saying it, but writing it down as well?
Yeah, I think that's when you make it tangible and you put it out into the universe because there's so many things, so many ideas that we have that are stuck in our heads, in our minds, in our imagination that we never, see come to fruition because we're so afraid or we're so overwhelmed and don't feel like we have, the energy to put it out there. And I think when we write it down, that's our first way of signaling to the universe that we're serious about this and that this is something that is in our hearts and minds and that we want to put out there and to jumpstart the process of making happen. I think there's something really, really special, especially in this age now where we're typing everything, we're, doing everything on our phones. I think there's something really special about having a pen and a paper and just writing it out and allowing your mind and body to connect in that moment and showcase that to ourselves. And I think it's a great reminder.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love your three things journal. So I have been keeping a gratitude journal for years, but after our initial conversation and meeting you, I changed it to the three things.
Oh.
So where did you get that idea? And can you go over for us one more time how to break the three things up? What are the three things?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually don't remember where this I had been doing a gratitude journal for a very long time. And then I started to look more into manifestation and wanting to incorporate that into my life. And I was like, well, I can also do affirmations as well. And I promise you, even if you're someone who doesn't like to journal and doesn't like a long routine, I promise you this takes me 5 minutes or less. Because we keep it really top line, really simple, and it doesn't have to be so grandiose. So with the gratitude section, again, it doesn't need to be like, I am grateful to have gotten a promotion to senior director. This, it can, like I said, it can be something as simple as, I am grateful that my husband left me the last piece of chicken. It's my favorite chicken from my favorite place, and I got to indulge. It's something really simple. I am grateful for this warm weather, and I get to finally wear the shorts that I had been waiting to bust out, or I can finally go for a walk outside. So I think when we break it down into something more micro, we feel more confident about putting it together, and it makes it easier to build it as a habit. And again, gratitude, writing down the things you're grateful for, helps you to focus on the now and understand that your now is the most important time that you'll ever have in your life. And I think a lot of us are looking to the future, thinking about the past, but we're not really honing in on what we're grateful for right now. And that'll help you to feel and know and understand that you are doing fine. You're doing a great job, and things are okay, and they will get better. And then with the will get better, that's the manifestation portion of it, where we love our lives, we love, what we have going on, but there's some things we want. And so when we write down these things that we want and we desire, that again is another signal to the universe that we're about to make this happen. So when you write it down, you then have to like put some action behind it and put consistent action behind it. And it doesn't need to be, huge work. It can be something small. I'm big on creating routines off of small habits, because little things help us to feel, more empowered to keep going. And then with the affirmations, that again, it's the foundation that we're building to let us know that we can accomplish these things. We can get the things that we manifest, and we do deserve the things that we're grateful for. And it really helps to build up that self-confidence and that self-belief.
All right. So is there a secret? Is there a certain amount of times you need to repeat your affirmations, or a certain amount of times you need to write them down, or a certain time of day where it's better? Or is it just what everybody's individual? So what works best for them?
Yeah, I think whatever works best for you and when you feel the most compelled. I personally love a morning or an evening routine. And I actually used to do this at night, but I recently started doing it in the morning. And it really just depends on what you feel compelled to do. And when it comes to reciting the affirmations, it could just be one time. And then as long as you do it once and then you do it again the next day, that's consistency. I think we sometimes feel that consistency is like over and over and over again, when it is, as long as you're building upon it. Like maybe you journal 3 times a week, but you take those moments, you take it really slowly, really intentionally, and you just like you get yourself excited for that moment. I think there is consistency in doing something more than once, but it doesn't have to be each and every single day or several times a day, which I think is, again, what deters us as human beings from wanting to be consistent or wanting to build routines, because we're like, oh, I have to do this again, and it shouldn't be a chore.
Right.
So I think developing a routine that works for you, your schedule, your mind and body, that is the best way.
I think that's very important. So consistency doesn't mean I have to do it every day. And when it starts to feel like a chore, I think you don't have the right energy and intention behind it. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever works for you, as long as you keep your little promise that you're going to do that routine and do it
Exactly.
over and over. I love
And it
that.
can,
I love
yeah,
that.
and it can even be like maybe it's your Sunday ritual. Maybe it's
Oh,
once a week
okay.
and
I
you
love this. Right.
and you kickstart your week. You're like, on Sundays I take an hour or 30 minutes or whatever to just like get intentional. I'm going to do my journaling. I'm going to, look at my affirmation cards. I'm going to take some time for deep breathing. Like, make it something that you can look forward to. Or it can be on Sundays, I journal for 5 minutes. It can be a big
Right.
process or a small process. So I think really finding something that works for you is best, and understanding that self-care is not one size fits all.
All right. Awesome. So do you do any coaching or helping people come up with affirmations? Do they follow you on your website, your social media? How do we learn more?
Yeah, so I actually have a podcast, a self-love podcast, and right now it's on a summer hiatus, but there's so many, it's over 50 episodes of many things pertaining to self-love and building a deeper relationship with self. And so that is like my sweet spot for self-love, but on a weekly basis. I actually just sent this out this morning. I have a self-love newsletter that I send out every Monday, and that I get really vulnerable. I talk about what's going on throughout my week, and then relate it to something that can help us build a deeper sense of self-love. So you'll get that weekly dose of those self-love and affirming details. And I'll actually be hosting my very first retreat in November.
Okay.
And yes, registration is open now for my retreat. It's in the beautiful sunny St. Martin. And we're gonna
Oh,
have, I know, yeah. And we're going to
here we
we're going
come.
to an island. Yes. So I'm hosting a retreat in November. It'll be 5 days. And there I'm going to be hosting some workshops in the morning. It's going to be a nice mix of intentionality and play. So we have workshops in the morning where I'll be going over building and setting your intentions, affirmation setting, manifestation building. And we're also going to be doing great things like a luxury yacht charter to Anguilla with a gourmet meal and snorkeling, and we're also going to have zip lining, and there's going to be ample time for you to relax at the pool, get a massage, all that good stuff. So I'm really excited about that. Registration is open now, but it ends on August 25th. And we still have a few spots left. It's going to be a very nice and intimate retreat as well. So we can have a lot of one-on-one time, and also just feel like, we're in a close community, and feel willing and ready to open up. So I'm really excited about that. And you can find information on that. I can either share it here, or
Is it
I
on
can.
your website?
So it is. So I've actually been sharing it mainly on social, but I should probably put a link on the website. So yes, I will have that up. Follow me on Instagram, and I have it in my link tree that has all of my links, and there's registration there.
Okay, that is perfect. So my new affirmation is I am going on your retreat. So
Yes, yes, yes,
so let's
absolutely.
put some
Amazing.
more affirmations in there so I can see some of my image family on your retreat. So if you guys want to learn more about affirmations, about self-love, if you want to keep following so that you can see when the self-love card deck relaunches, here is all of Aisha's content. So information, this is where we can follow her. But I do have a winner for the let's see, letters to myself self-love deck. So this is and the skincare from Image Skincare. So two great giveaways. So let's start with the self-love deck. I have Khadijah Judd. So congratulations. We will be contacting you from Image Skincare, and we will be making sure that you get that self-love deck. I might be at your house watching it, going through the self-care with you. And then don't forget our hot three, right, from Image Skincare. So we do have our skincare bundle, which is a $191 value. And I have Susan Tullis, Tullis. So Susan, look out in your email and we are going to be contacting you. So this was an amazing session. Thank you so much. I hope you guys got as much out of it as I did. I appreciate you sharing your time, and so glad that you were able to come and share your self-love journey and affirmations with us. Do you have any final words for us before we move on to our next speaker?
No, that's all. But I would absolutely love to see you all at my retreat. So I will do a better job at posting the link on that. But yes, check me out on Instagram or my website, or shoot me an email or DM, Aisha@aishabeau.com, and I'll give you all the information on the retreat. So thank you so much again, Jacqueline. This was such a pleasure, and I appreciate all of your questions and commentary. It definitely made this a lot easier and more fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Aisha, and have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.